Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Daytona International Speedway for the first race in the 2022 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series season. 18 race season on us here tonight. And we're kicking it off with the 101st race in series history. Rookie Hunter Braxton for Bulldog Motorsports on the pole. And I am joined by my man, Vince Freeze.
Here we go. Under the lights, it's Daytona. It's always a new car smell, as I like to say, but tonight's the truck series. Let's see what we got going on. It's interesting that Hunter Braxton's got the pole, and we've got a lot of interesting rookies up there. We know Donovan Cage, Audra Baranowski says the vets could make a move. And let's find out. These trucks fly faster than the Cup cars, at night especially.
We saw speeds of up to 209 miles an hour in practice. These boys and girls are flying. Let's get to your starting lineup. Braxton, as stated, is on the pole with Jack Holton to his outside. Row 2, Christian Russell and Ron Bishop. Row 3, Scott Roush and Audra Baranowski, your defending Jerky Pro Truck Series champion. Row 4 is Gene Sanford and Mitchell Collins. And in row 5, we have Jack James and Sam Young. You see Donovan Cage there in row 6. Going to go through the rest of the starting lineup. Vince, I believe you have our past race winners on hand.
Yes, I do. Give me 1 minute to pull that up. Okay, there we go. So our first past race winner, we had Caleb. No, wait, that's wrong one. There we go. Hold on. There we go. It was Wade Brummer in 2017 with a Ford. Charles Sanford 2018 with the Chevy. Adam Flickinger, rookie Toyota 2019. The man Andrew Rich, the legend, in the Chevy in 2020. And last year, not in the field, Laura Chung in 2021. A couple things to note that I'll kind of take this one and make up for that mistake there. We had an interesting pitch strategy. We're going back to the regular compounds on strategy. And I believe last year was a 30-lap race. We're doing a 40-lap race this year. Expect a little bit more strategy in terms of playing it safe. And in the back, we had a big one early on lap 2 or 3 that involved Vince Freeze and others. And let's see what happens, man. With these trucks being a little faster, I think, than last year's package by a smidge, and a better pitch strategy, we think. I expect this race to be a race of comers and goers early, and let's see where that wreck takes place that could shake the field out.
You mentioned those past winners, Vince. Three years in a row, a rookie driver has won this race, and 2 years in a row, it has been in a Chevrolet. We'll see if that statistic continues this year. We are 10 seconds away from hearing the first command to start off the season. Braxton, Holton on the front row. Let's go trackside.
Driver, start your engine!
So drivers head out onto the racetrack. As a lot of people know, after last season, there will no longer be part-time Digital Storm Cup Series drivers allowed down here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series, which should make for quite the interesting season. Last year, we had a ton of Cup drivers win races down here, such as Charles Sanford with 3 wins, Nate Rogers with a couple of wins. We saw Nico Tringali get a win. We saw Fitzwater get a win or so. Allison Rain, of course, and Quinton Moore. So now it's really going to be interesting to see how high the Truck Series veterans can get in the win column. Of course, Audra Baranowski with a 2-win season and the championship now up to 6 wins all time, tied together with Charles Sanford and Donovan Cage. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets to that 7th win first between Baranowski and Cage. Could it happen here tonight? Who knows? The next closest driver out of the series regulars on that all-times list is Henry Sanford with 3 wins, who we saw fail to win a single race last year. Expect him to break out this year. And as you continue going down that list, Vince, I only see one other driver coming back that has 2 career wins, and that is Yael Carrillo. 2 career wins back in his rookie season, went winless last year. Expect him to break back into victory lane sometime this year. regular season, full season championship once again. Pace Truck's gonna dive it down on the pit lane, and we are gonna go green flag racing in 2022. Green flag is out. We are underway at Daytona.
Now these trucks wrapped up as we learn this package here in race trim. Hunter Braxton got to a good start. All single filing out and that nice wide shot.
Braxton jumped right up to the top side as Christian Russell snuck under him, already 200 miles an hour into turn 3 on the first lap of the race.
Wide.
And a 4 wide situation to go with it. That's Jack, James, and Audra. Same points format as last year, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So top 5s, top 10s, going to be big if you want to win this championship. Now almost 4 wide for the lead, Vince.
This isn't going to end well, man. Same thing happened last year, lap 1 or 2.
It's Russell and Gene Sanford, first lane, James, and now Scott Roush, second lane. Oh, there's some contact. So we've seen the Reza fading from the pack. He is up to speed, 210 mile an hour. At the back of the field as Cody Magarick looks to take the lead on the bottom. Brad Lewis pushing. They settled it out, Vince.
What a job as you see Brad Lewis is pushing Magarick there. I think this is going to be a race where Enzo Nereza still needs to stay right there. We saw in the duels how staying back there can actually be a good strategy. We saw Seth Cole, Vince Freeze. It could work here. Now, what is Brad Lewis doing? We know he has Papyrus win experience. He knows how to get down the draft.
You see Jessica Strauss there on the outside, getting that run off of turn 4. I think just edged out Magarick there at the line. Yes, indeed. By a nose. So watch that top side. We saw the runs in the Corsair Duel races. We're going to expect to see him again here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series race.
And there it is. Enzo's back in the pack. I think he said it's just maybe they settled out. It's time to dice it up as you see Brad Lewis go to the middle.
Brad Lewis to the middle. Bradley Ream leading the bottom. Ream jumping over the Thor Sport after RJ Bishop goes straight to Cup, or stays in Cup rather. And then Ron Bishop gonna drive for RJ's brand new Truck Series team there. That's the number 1 truck you see up on the outside with Rowdy Energy and Menard sponsorship. Let's look at the top side run now. Vince, Jessica Strauss, and Gene Sanford jump right to the middle line, and they are flying.
Tires start to wear off, and as tires wear off, sometimes that outside line. Now they're looking to do a little 2-truck tandem, but here comes Brad Lewis top to bottom. We saw that crossover move in the duels. Let's see what he can do here under Sanford.
210 miles an hour out of the Jerky Pro Truck Series trucks this year at Daytona. Insane. As you mentioned, the Reza back up to the pack on the inside line. But Strauss so far holding everyone at bay. Looked like we were going to have another early big one there, Vince. They sorted out the 4 wide, and now we've made it past lap 5 in the race.
Yeah, it seems like as you see Russell and Braxton, they're peeking right there. Let's see what Hayes Green and Magarick got on the bottom line, though. They seem to... Ooh,
oh,
Green's
here we
gonna
go.
Push it for 1.
Magarick moved up. Green's going to look to his inside. Can Brad Lewis clear the 75? It looks like he will not be able to. And now teammates are 1-2, top and bottom. And they are not looking good with that 4 wide. That looks like a recipe for disaster. Now all the way on the bottom, that's Blaine Saylor looking for the race lead. Saylor, one of those many drivers who missed out on the Digital Storm Cup Series race. He's driving the 84 for Red Bull this year. So Saylor going to look to make some waves here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series for Nice Motorsports, which expanded this year to a 2-truck operation.
How about Fogelman and Mayhew on the bottom? They're looking pretty good. A lot of rookies. We talked about the rookies, Zach, at Daytona. They seem to have no fear tonight, and with the faster speeds, you don't know what you don't know. It seems like it's winning, as you see. So Fogelman will take that middle line.
And Vince,
Yes.
I know we're still like 10 laps away from pit stops, but if we can make it to pit stops, we're looking at a green flag race potentially.
It could be dangerous too, though, when you're in this big pack. Careful not to get run over. We have a lot of rookies that have never done green flag live pit stops. We'll see how that plays out. But you see just that outside line from the leader, it can clear and almost have a little bubble of air, which is nice to block some lanes. Even with 210 miles per hour, you can see that.
Mayhew continues to lead now for the second lap in a row as Saylor gets a run off the top hill, jump right to the inside line. It's the first truck there on the inside in the 54. That is Austin Tyler. He's got Henry Sanford and Pat Johnson behind him on the bottom, plus teammate Joshua Johnson there in the 51.
The Johnson's teaming up there now. What does Blaine Saylor do here? We see 4 wide, believe it or not, Zach, is where the inside line thrives. When it's 3 wide like this, the top where Brad Lewis is in the middle seem to move, but a little shift in energy. Now Blaine Saylor will take the lead momentarily.
And just looking up to the back of the pack, as you see several drivers that are running the top are scraping the wall like we saw in the dual races. You've got Benjamin Ice and Lucas Catano back here. Donovan Cage, Yael Carrillo, Baranowskis. A lot of veteran drivers are at the back of the field right now, Vince.
And the only good thing for the vets is they do know that if pit stops come into play, it can make up time on the entry to pit road. As you see, Brad Lewis still up at the top.
Well, that would only really work for them if they enter pit road with nobody in front of them. That's the only way they're going to make up any time from the back of the field. If they elect to enter in a big pack, they are going to lose a ton of time pitting from back there.
That is true. You're right. They are hitting the wall. Now, Brad Lewis, we saw this in the checkered flag coming to duel 2. He just gets that nice outside line run, whereas Johnson and Johnson on the bottom and Sanford just fall back a little bit. Now, let's see if Brad blocks Pat Johnson. They'll stay middle. Here comes Pat Johnson underneath with help from Johnson behind.
Saw maybe a little bit of a checkup there from Henry Sanford in the middle. Not sure if that's the tires coming in. Oh, look at the run on the top from Gene Sanford and Christian Russell. They are hauling the mail up there. See, anybody that's gone to the top, Vince, has not really fallen that far back. We've seen some of those drivers from the bottom. They either go to the middle or they go to the top.
Oh!
As we're going to go 4 wide for the lead, that's Will Parrish in the 10. And Mason Dagger in the 47. And there you said it, Vince. They went 4 wide. What happened? The inside line got a huge edge. And they are going to settle it once again.
Yeah, they're going to settle this out. Now, what do you do if you're Mason Dagger here? You just made a bold move, and now I think he's just going to go to the top. And
here comes Max Anderson now on the inside line, the hottest driver to start 2021, and then faded like a rock in a ocean. We're still seeing a lot of guys just bounce it off the wall, but it's not hurting their momentum really at all. Got Roger James in the 74. How about Lane Sanders, Vince, in the 31? This is his rookie season for Jerky Pro, but he's got a year of Digital Storm under his belt. We saw him almost snag a dual win for Richard Childress Racing. As part of his cup deal, he agreed to come down here and run a season to get some extra experience.
Not so fast, though. Here comes D-Lon, one of the vets. Now, I think I will say about Lane, we have someone hitting the wall.
We've got trouble, I think. That's Sam Young in the wall. Is that a caution? No. So Sam Young and PJ Vidal get up too close to the wall entering turn 3. And that's going to spread out some of the field here. I think Sam and Vidal are going to lose the pack Ibrahimian jumped to the lead, jumped right to the top. Now Morris Reeves driving the truck that won this race last year with Laura Chung.
There's Enzo.
And there's Enzo, who started last up to the front along the inside line. He's got Yael Carrillo and Zachary DeLello in tow behind him. And Vince, those pit stops are maybe about 6 laps away. I'm not sure if this is going to be a one-stopper or not. It all depends when they start pitting.
It's going to be close, and I think Sam Young has just lost it officially. We have Dirt and Vidal. They're done.
They're going to want to stay in line if they have any hope of keeping up a little bit, but they are not going to be running 205 miles an hour. Ibrahimian's trying to play the lanes, but James has a huge run on the top.
Look at this run by James. And is that Dagger? No, is it Dagger?
That's Dagger in the 47, yep. Pat
Dagger
Johnson in the
Lewis.
12. Scraping the wall a little bit, but the 74 is going to get clear, jump all the way down to the middle. Dagger's going to get clear. Johnson might get clear as well. And Dagger's going to look for the lead.
Yeah, I think Pat can clear underneath now, and Brad Lewis looks like he's going to try to do the same thing with a little run.
Oh, Carrillo's trying to peek under the 66 on Nereza, but Nereza says, no, sir. You're not putting me 4 wide.
Look at that run Lewis and Johnson got.
I think the tire wear is really starting to kick in now, Vince. The top side is just the place to be. Yeah, you just see the top is just flying now. So tire wear kicks in after about 14 laps, Vince. That's good information to know. 211 for Roger James in the turn 1.
Oh, now you see the pack state. They know it's coming. The tire wear is coming. They're going to start to scramble, especially on that outside lane. Yep, everyone's moving.
Everybody is jumping all over the place now. But Roger James up on the front at the best time. But now Johnson and Brad Lewis, 4 teammates, jump to the bottom on him, leaving him out to dry.
Johnson will go back to the top and lead this lap. I don't know. Brad Lewis might be in a sit and duck position if that outside gets a nice run. But here comes Ibrahimian. I just saw Gene Sanford think about making it 4 wide to get underneath Roger James, but she went right back up to the top. Now all that movement, all that high side pulled away. We saw about 4 or 6 trucks pull away. Excuse me, a little bit of 2 wide action. Now all that momentum has died off, and now we're right back into the pack 3 wide racing. Gotta say, that was the most realistic thing I've ever seen at Daytona, man. That was crazy right there. But you know what? This is what we talked about, positioning for the pit stops. This could be a good place. The guys on the outside, believe it or not, you want to be on the outside because you can just get a clear straight if you're the first 2 trucks on the outside, whereas the inside, you're probably going to be coming to pit road. It's going to be close, man. We're right in that field window. 1 or 2 more laps might be the window opening. We'll find out. And
just remember, Vince, if you are on the bottom and people come to pit, if you're not trying to pit, you're going to have to slam the brakes, and you are going to lose. You're going to lose the pack. You're going to lose a chance at a win, especially if there's no yellow. You're definitely not going to get the win then, because the second you slam them brakes and you're down to 160 miles an hour, as we've got pitters, Donovan Cage is going in, Baranowskis is going in, and here's the split I talked about. So Cage and Baranowskis, the 2 drivers with 6 career wins, elect to pit first on their own. And Sam Young will pit here by himself. But you see, there's the split, Vince. Right there. Now, these drivers are still mostly in tow, so I think all of these drivers will be fine. But this is going to make entering pit road a little more dangerous. We've seen people get run over before at, like, Talladega and other tracks. Going into the pit lane. This is going to get interesting.
Enzo, what do you do? And there it is.
Yep, here we go. Big time pit stops. Brad Lewis will lead them down. Everybody coming in. Will anybody run into each other? Looks like the answer is no, but all these drivers back here coming to a basic stop. just to get into the pit lane. And this is going to help PJ Vidal a ton.
That was the perfect drafting distance. Now, Pat Johnson stayed out. He might be the third group here.
We've got Roger James, Pat Johnson, Gene Sanford, Christian Russell, Lane Sanders, Roy Ribbleton, Hayes Green, and Daniel Brown all stayed out.
There, Audra.
Johnson's making a move to James inside. Will that prevent the 74 from pitting here? No, he's going to pit, but Gene Sanford's going to stay out another lap. Everybody else is coming in. Oh, and these drivers got great entries. Let's watch Audra and Cage now. They are by themselves. I think they're going to come out better than where they were. Oh, Joshua Johnson and Jack Holton almost dumped themselves right up the racetrack.
I had a hard to stop moment right there. Oh, wow.
Mason Dagger is the leader of the group out of pit lane. There's Audra and Cage. They're going to benefit big time from this. And Gene Sanford is sputtering. Oh, she's going to lose a ton of time from this decision to stay out. She'll make it to the pit lane, but she is sputtering on fumes. Dagger currently holds the provisional lead. Let's see where the drivers who pit at the end there. There's Roger James. Lane Sanders coming out second out of that group. But Dagger will go by as they race on the apron. Nareza, Ibrahimian, and Carrillo, Vince. The three closest trucks to Dagger.
I think Pat and Lane will definitely be in this group. They can catch up.
Oh, I'm not so sure about Pat. Nareza's going to stop for Sanders, so Carrillo and Nareza are going to pick up the 31. That puts Roger James in the lead. And there's a caution for some reason. And Gene Sanford will come out as the leader.
I hope it's not one of those debris yellows, wink, wink.
Oh, wait. Gene is passing the leader. Is everybody going to pass the pace car here?
What's going on here?
I think they're still racing back. It's something for the Lello. No word yet. And it looks like everybody is being told to pass the pace truck. Pace truck has come out on track early. Oh, and there was definitely an accident, Vince. And Gene Sanford will not be the leader. It'll be Roger James. I believe that is because Gene's pit stall was in front of the start-finish line.
Not bad, though. Right in front of Cage and right behind Baranowski's.
So, staying out the longest there. Caution saves Gene Sanford. Now the question is, can Audra and Cage make it on gas? I'm going to say they can. They pit on lap 19. They're going to have the caution here. And, you know, we saw how long Gene made it. I think they are all good to go. Pace truck is already in turn 4. They came out of the pit road so early. Now we got to make sure no one runs into each other here. But something in turn 3, Vince. I'm going to say it was something with the merge line because we have seen stuff back in, I think it was 2019. In the 2019 Daytona 500, there was a crash for a pit lane. And someone's coming in. That's Christian Russell. So Russell doesn't think he can make it on fuel. He's going to pit again. Nobody else will come down to the pit lane. And it looks like it's DeLello and Max Anderson out of the race due to an accident. We're under caution. We're going to find out what happened to bring out our first yellow flag of the night. Taking a look at what brought out our first caution flag of the night. Oh, and this might be why Christian Russell pit. Might not have been for fuel after all. He is merging with Hayes Green side by side. And Russell almost gets into his teammate, but DeLello clips him right in the right rear. And that sends the 92 around. Just barely like clipped the right rear quarter panel of the 24 truck with its left front. Oh, and Max Anderson is just going to get clipped.
Brad, a little bit damaged, not much, though.
Brad Lewis misses him somehow. Parrish and Braxton are able to jump right down the racetrack. DeLello goes right to the apron. Max Anderson is sliding down the banking. You see Fogelman and others jump up the track. So a small accident, but a pretty big hit for the 88. Slicing through the 92. And we'll get you guys to the race restart. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here at Daytona. There will be 13 laps of action left in the season starting race. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say there. Roger James is your race leader. Dylan Ibrahimian in second. Mason Dagger third. Lane Sanders fourth. Yael Carrillo fifth. Enzo Nereza sixth. Pat Johnson seventh. Audra Baranowskis eighth. Gene Sanford ninth. And Donovan Cage rounds out the top 10. I believe those would have been the 10 drivers fighting it out for the win if we did not have an accident. But now the entire field is bunched back up. Vince, 40 trucks. Excuse me. And I'm curious to see if anybody can maybe hit like 213 or 14 miles an hour by drafting from all the way at the back of the field, because they're going to be strung out here on this restart.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't think we have any trucks with damage. Will veteran experience pay off on a restart? We can see some restart lanes will be crucial. But I'll take this one to green. Roger James here. Let's see what he does in this restart zone as we go green on lap 28. And you see some trickery there from Ibrahimi and a big high to low.
That was actually Dagger who did the high to low, but Ibrahimian with kind of a bad restart in the Reza. Daniel Brown, the first few to jump to the inside line. Roger James with a pretty good restart, but getting out in front at Daytona, it's not the track to do it at. As you can already see the huge run for Ibrahimian, man. The Reza as well, Strauss, and many others are flying right now.
There's Cage and Baranowskis. We talked about the veteran experience. Can they get it done? Who will get to 7 first? Let's do a little shootout style here, thinking.
205 at the line for Ibrahimian. 208 for Scott Roush, who's at the back of the field. Just trying to draft their way up right now. Fastest lap time belongs to Winnie Calhoun with a 42.709. He is right there. As you see all these trucks, they're just spread out right now at the back of the field, Vince.
Gonna take a little bit to catch up. Might be a couple laps, but they got not much time left.
And the pack is formed, and look who's leading the race. It's the champ, Audra Baranowskis, with the nose over Nereza at the start-finish line.
Now the question is placement. Do you want to be on the inside line or outside line? I think right now you'd rather be at the back of this pack. I think lap 36 through 39 will be a big tell of who has and what with the tire wear situation. As you see Donovan K, now we're starting to jockey a little bit.
Oh, we're 4
Oh,
wide.
is that 4 wide?
We're 4 wide. Oh, they're going to wreck! Strauss. Oh, it's going to be the big one, Vince. It is going to be the big one. Oh, it's a disaster. Huge crash. Oh, and there's more. Bishop gets hit by ice. Hayes Green is down the pit lane. Jack Holton is down the pit lane. Jessica Strauss, Sam Young, their days or nights are over. Gene Sanford is done. Cody Magrick, Brad Lewis, Roy Ribbleton, Billy Kidd, Bradley Ream, Ibrahimian, Chris White, all bring it down the pit lane, and Enzo Nereza is the race leader.
How about that? From last to first, and we still have another restart to go. But man, that's wiped out a lot of good contenders.
That was likely the worst place to have a crash, Vince. Going right into the corner. You got trucks going down, sliding through the grass. They're going to come right back up. And we were still fresh off that restart. So you've got all these trucks at the back of the field spread out trying to catch back up into the pack. And then the 22 at Ibrahimian, when he went back up, he got turned right back up in front of the field. So that was arguably, I think, the biggest crash we've seen in this series since Pensacola back in 2020.
Oh, you forgot about North Wilkesboro last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, that I don't really count that because that wreck was honestly a joke.
Oh, we got some pitters. Oh, damage.
Damage we're seeing here from Henry Sanford, Brandon Mayhew, Owen Miles, Scott Roush, all going to bring it down to the pit lane, and we have lost pretty much half the field from this accident. Oh, it's going to be a long cleanup. So let's take a look at what happened here to bring out the second caution flag of the night. Taking a look at what brought out the second yellow. Ibrahimian actually moves down to maybe make a move on the Reza, or he was given a lane to Roger James here. That's going to start this entire thing. I don't think Audra was expecting him to come down from the top to cause a four-wide situation, and they were never even. And right there, they go down, they get into Strauss and Ribbleton. And then everybody's trying to clinch back up. Ibrahimian whips it back up to the right in the Morris Reeves. Nowhere for Gene Sanford to go, and it's on Brad Lewis around. Here comes Strauss right back up the track, collects Holton. Ron Bishop nowhere to go. Billy Kidd gets hit by the 33. Joshua Johnson by the 21. And it's just a mess. Bradley Ream comes flying in. Scott Roush comes flying in.
It's chaos everywhere.
Brad Lewis and Gene Sanford. Gene Sanford doesn't, but Brad Lewis does.
There it is, number 1 of the year.
Freeze, flip counter, first of the year. And we saw Bishop get hit by Benjamin Ice. But that took out a ton of drivers. This was all that was really left that got through completely clean. I'm sure there are other drivers in there who hit the brake and missed it. But Nereza got the lead, racing back to the caution. Let's take some onboards. On board with Delon Ibrahimian. Tough break for the driver of the 22. On board with defending champion Audra Baranowskis. We'll see if the 21 elects to continue. On board with Henry Sanford. Just nowhere to go. Final on board with Scott Roush, who was in last at the time. Oh, and even he had no time to slow up. The track was just blocked. He gets to see Brad Lewis flip over. We'll have to wait and see if Roush elects to continue. Getting ready to go back racing here at Daytona. By the way, if you missed it, Max Anderson and DeLello did retire from their first accident. Out of the race from the second big wreck of the night, Reggie Fogelman, Gene Sanford, Brad Lewis, Sam Young, Billy Kidd, Cody Magarick, Jessica Strauss, Chris White, Delon Ibrahimian, Bradley Ream, Roy Ribbleton, Ron Bishop, Jack Holton, Hayes Green, Scott Roush, and the 23 of Owen Miles. That leaves us with 24 trucks on the racetrack. Your top 10 rundown with what will be 7 laps to go. Enzo Nereza leads it. Roger James second. Yael Carrillo third. Donovan Cage fourth. Lane Sanders fifth. Mason Dagger sixth. Pat Johnson seventh. Will Parrish eighth. Morris Reeves ninth. And Joshua Johnson rounds out the top 10. Baranowskis spun it around. Continues Lucas Catano, Hunter Braxton, Mitchell Collins, Jack James, Christian Russell, Austin Tyler, Winnie Calhoun, Blaine Saylor, Daniel Brown, Benjamin Ice we know has damage, PJ Vidal, Henry Sanford without a hood, and same with Brandon Mayhew. Baranowskis was in the crash, but she did not pit. Not sure what her 21 truck is capable of now. Green flag is back out, and the Reza gets a good jump.
Yeah, and there's Lane Sanders. He's going to tuck this one to the bottom. I think the slow truck back there could be a big pivotal role to maybe only having 10 at this. But Enzo's out there in front, man. What do you think? He's got, I think it's too far back. Here comes Pat Johnson out of nowhere. And here comes Lane and Yael on the bottom. They're going to stall a run. Here comes the 74 up top. There's Will Parrish.
James will make the move to the inside line. It was, there was no denying that whoever was second was going to get a huge run here on the restart. But James actually checks up there when he moves to the inside line. Now Nereza's going to get a huge run, a huge push from Donovan Cage. 6 laps to go. Nereza has the edge.
I think this is it, Zach. One of these 8.
Yeah, this pack has, I think Audra has really held up these other drivers. She is only going 203 miles an hour to the corner. We'll see if anybody else has pace here to maybe catch this group. But right now, it's Nereza in the lead. You've got Roger James, Cage, Pat Johnson, Mason Dagger, Yael Carrillo, Will Parrish, and Lane Sanders in this 8-truck group. And for Donovan Cage, Vince, he's definitely one of the favorites to win the championship. So with Audra, with damage, she's not going to finish top 10 here. If Cage can get a win, heck, even a top 5, he's off to a great start.
Zach, Christian Russell's going to have to start hauling the mail. They just lost another 3/10. It's going to be close if they catch. But what do you do here if you're Enzo? You got to block both lanes. Here comes Donovan Cage saying, not so fast. He's going to peek underneath.
Donovan's looking to go to the inside of James. He thinks better of it. He stays behind the 74. Nereza pulls up for the block.
Well, Parrish goes to the bottom there. Yael's going to fall off a little bit, but he'll get back in line. Looks like Roger James will stay. Here comes Pat and... there we go.
And here comes that second group. You've got Christian Russell, Mitchell Collins, Hunter Braxton, Blaine Saylor, and PJ Vidal are the only other trucks clean here. Winnie Calhoun, Austin Tyler, and others. You can see all these trucks are damaged. Brandon Mayhew and Jack James heavily damaged. Don't think there's time for any of those drivers to be lapped, though, as Nereza is now under fire from Mason Dagger. And this 3-wide racing, Vince, is definitely letting Russell and those other drivers catch up.
Well, James is going to make the move.
James to the inside. Chevy looking to win this race for the 3rd year in a row. Ram has never won this race. Ford and Toyota, I believe, have a win each. Chevy's got 3 wins total, I believe, Vince. Yeah, 3 wins for Chevy, 1 for Ford, and 1 for Toyota.
Here he is. There's Christian Russell. Now, what does he do? He'll play a factor. Will Parrish is coming back. There's Pat Johnson underneath 3 wide. Enzo's still going to block all 3 lanes. He'll go to the top with Donovan Cage. Roger James to the middle.
It'll be 2 laps to go at the start-finish line. If Braxton can get up there and try and help his teammate. Braxton in his first year got the pole here tonight. Nereza started last. It's his 2nd year, but Donovan Cage with what might be the move of the race. He's holding even with Nereza. Now Nereza with a push from Lane Sanders. They're even at 2 to go.
Mitchell Collins is here. Here comes Hunter Braxton, the pole sitter. Will we have enough time to give him this back?
Dagger's going to make it 3 wide on James and Sanders. Cage with no real help. Down the back straightaway they go. Nereza's going to move to the middle. That's going to give a lane for Lane Sanders. No pun intended. We saw Lane use the top side in his dual race last night to try and get the win. Came up short by 7/1000ths of a second to finish 3rd, but he made the big race. Now, looking for practice. They're going to go 4 wide. That's Mason Dagger on the white flag lap. 4 wide in a pack of 13. Back to 3. Cage, Nereza, Sanders. To the spectator camera we go. The top side. All jacked up. Nereza's got the run. Does he have the push? Who's giving him the push? It's
Dagger to the
Sanders.
inside.
Dagger to the inside of Cage. Into turn 3 they're going to go. Cage is fading. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Dagger or Nereza. Can rookies go 3 years in a row? Off of turn 4, the run to the checkered flag. It's going to be Enzo Nereza for his first career Jerky Pro Truck Series win. And Ram finally gets a dub in the Truck Series at Daytona. From last to first, Vince. From last to first.
Daytona, baby, in a nutshell. He didn't play the aggressive car early. Saw what we did yesterday in terms of the duels, and look what happens. You get that first career dub. Congrats, and a little luck came into play too. Great run the outside. Definitely learning a lot. As you can see, yeah, Audra, I think, made a mistake not coming down.
Mason Dagger will finish second. Lane Sanders gets third place again with the push on the top there to Nereza. Donovan Cage with a great start to the season with a fourth place finish. Pat Johnson rounds out the top 5. Yael Carrillo, Roger James, Mitchell Collins, Will Parrish, and Christian Russell. The top 10-man Parrish is definitely a threat anytime you go to a super speedway. We saw him win Dega last year. PJ Vidal, Hunter Braxton, and Blaine Saylor, the final 3 drivers in that pack. And then the rest of the field, you know, it's just a bunch of survivors. Daniel Brown, Winnie Calhoun there in 14th. Baranowskis 16th to start the season. Benjamin Ice 18th. Catano 20th. Henry Sanford 21st. And Jack James 24th, rounding out the field. This is all the drivers that DNF. Drivers to watch out for this year that did DNF. Bradley Ream, Delon Ibrahimian, Sam Young, Gene Sanford, Max Anderson. But it's Enzo Nereza who got his first career win here tonight, not as a rookie, but as a one-year veteran. It should be interesting to see how his season goes from here, Vince. Obviously, still fresh in the Truck Series. Wouldn't expect too much out of Nereza, but definitely what they wanted to see here tonight at a Bulldog Motorsports camp is a win right out the gate.
Yeah, I think a lot of the rookies you see littered through the field. We'll see what happens when we get to the next race, but plate racing, man, it's always the luck of the draw, and Enzo played the perfect strategy. Got to give a call to Lane Sanders using what he learned from that dual race. And Donovan Cage, I think, is the big winner. Same with Yael. They're definitely championship threats. I expect them with a little head start on Audra to make that up, let's say, in the next race as we go to the 1.5 miles, too.
That's going to do it for us here tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for the 2022 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series Daytona 500.
Sign off.